be doing this. The 1 year sober podcast. I've been thinking about this one for a year. I was sitting here and I was thinking, and I'm like, I need to like come up with a hook. Like, what's the hook? Because with YouTube and podcasting, it's always like the first 3 seconds, the first 7 seconds. What's the hook? I don't know. I decided to quit drinking alcohol a year ago, and then every single day I decided to not drink alcohol for a year. So if you're interested in hearing all about that, stay tuned. Yeah. All right, we're going to do it. All right, let's get into it. I do want to put out a trigger warning. I want to let you know that this is going to be a like a mindset, mental health, or personal growth episode. This isn't really going to be focused on anything business related, but yesterday was 1 year sober, like sober, no alcohol, no extracurricular activities. And I thought about recording this podcast yesterday, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take yesterday to myself. I went and got myself some new studio lighting. I'll put a little video in. And then well, if you're looking on YouTube, I've had these lights. I just wasn't sure what to do with them. So I plugged in my lights. And I was like, I don't know. I just want to reward myself. Because how do you celebrate when you don't drink? That was a mind shift change that I had. But we'll get into that later. But before we do, I just wanted to pepper this out there. I do run my business by Jobber. Jobber is the CRM that keeps my business moving and grooving, even when I'm having the bad days. It's there, it's doing this thing, and it's there on the good days. So, if you're interested in getting your business more organized, more streamlined, if you're interested in really strengthening your customer communication, definitely give Jobber a try, a check out. You can get a 14-day free trial with my link down below. So definitely check that out. Let's take a stroll down memory lane all the way back to last year, March of 2023. I was in the midst of spring rush. I was in my good friend's wedding. I wasn't necessarily the maid of honor, but I was like, I was like one of the main girls. Very excited about this wedding. And it was a beautiful wedding. We had an excellent time. I felt so incredibly beautiful in the photos. Looking back at the photos now, I can see that I was very swollen. I want to say I was like 20 pounds heavier, and my face just was very puffy. And at the time, I didn't realize it. And at the time, I had been I would say, casual, emotional, situational drinker. So what does that mean? Like, what does that mean to me? It means that I didn't necessarily, in my mind, think that I had an alcohol problem, because if I didn't want to drink, I just didn't want to drink. But here is where I found it to be a problem. When I was stressed out, I would have a drink. When I was happy, oh, let's just have a drink. Let's celebrate. And at a certain point with me, it just all of a sudden stopped being fun. You know, I know, going back to the younger years when I first started like introducing alcohol into my life, it was like cool, it was fun. I remember talking to my friends on AOL Messenger, like that's my age, like gloating or bragging about the fact that I was talking to them on Messenger as I was sitting in the chair drinking a beer. I was 14. My parents were small business owners. They had the hot dog stand at the time, so they were busy, they were gone, they were living their lives. And so, of course, my friends were like, "Oh, that's so cool. Like, you're so wild." I'm like, yeah, I am. Okay. So then parties would happen, get drunk, have fun, get wild, get crazy. We almost died last night. Oh my gosh, like this is nuts. And then just talk about the stupid stuff and the fun stuff. But like I said, it's at some point, it's not cool. It's not fun. It's time to really pull it together. Last year, I just had a huge eye opening experience because I had bought a, like a, I think it's a fifth of Crown Royal vanilla, I believe it was. And I was sitting at my kitchen table. It might have been before last year, it might have been the year before. I was sitting at my because I was sitting at my old kitchen table, and I started doing like a shot. Then I did another shot, and then another shot. And then next thing I know, I'm on a group chat video thing. It's called Marco Polo with a couple of my friends, and just sobbing, just absolutely sobbing. And it's a group chat. I don't remember what was said, but it was just I went really deep into things that were deep down inside, harboring and festering and causing me a lot of emotional distress that I didn't realize because I wasn't really dealing with my emotions. So that whole situation happened, and then it just kept getting worse. Like when I would drink, I would get angry, and my husband doesn't deserve that. You know, like he doesn't deserve to start drinking with his wife and everything's all lucky go happy, and then all of a sudden a couple drinks in and now I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm starting to bring up stuff from the past, stuff that we've worked through, things, right? I've worked through. Oh, I'm past it. I remember being so low, so emotionally low, personally, but nobody knew, right? The only people that knew really are my husband. Family didn't know, people on the internet didn't know, none of it, because I put a smile on my face. I put some pink lipstick on, put some blush on, make myself look nice for the internet, and come on here and just be happy, happy go lucky. But deep down inside, things weren't cool. So I called my friend Melissa, and I was just like, not okay. I was like, hey, I remember you saying that you got yourself a therapist or a counselor. Like, can you tell me more? I'm just like sobbing. And so she gathered all the information for me. And she's like, you need to call this number and get in touch with somebody and get on somebody's schedule like today. Like today. So I did that. And in the meantime, I know we've talked about this before, but I went to the doctor and I was just not okay. And they put me on some antipsychotics and nearly overdosed me, but luckily I had some pharmacy knowledge to where I was like, no, this isn't right. I didn't end up taking those. I ended up doing the therapy, and then I called my buddy Corey, which I used to work out with him, because at this time I was drinking more. I'm just so into the business. The business is literally taking over everything. I'm not working out. I'm getting heavier and heavier, unhealthier and unhealthier. So I'm not happy with the way that I look. I'm not happy with the decisions that I'm making. But I'm still functioning, right? we're still making we're still making everything happen, but deep down inside, the foundation of what's going on with me, it's vastly falling apart. So I called Corey. I texted him out of the way, like way out of the blue, and I was like, hey, like, can I work out with you? I know it's been a long time. And he's like, yeah, like, of course, sister, I would love to see you. So I go over to his house, and I said, I just need to come over. He says, come over. So I drive over to his house. I'm in Crocs and jeans. And I just look at him. I just start crying, like uncontrollable crying. So he calms me. We have a conversation, and he gives me some action plans. He goes, go get a Fitbit. You're going to start tracking your steps. We're going to come up with a workout plan, and you're just going to work the plan. And I was like, okay. So without me realizing it, I was reaching out to people that I had around me as a support system because I needed that. I needed it at that time. And I was very grateful and very lucky um, that I had that. So there it is. There we go. I start doing therapy. I start, working out. I start, I'm not losing any weight, but I'm just going because it's like good for my mental health, like we're moving and grooving. But I still was on the sauce. I was still saucing up. And that was just causing some issues. So fast forward all the way to March of last year, baby. The wedding. The wedding. The wedding's beautiful. We have a great time. Drinks are flowing. It's an open bar. One drink after another. And I'm like a Jack and Daniels girl. So I'm having a Jack. I'm having a shot. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. We're still having a good time. We're dancing. I don't know what I was doing out there. Doing the stanky leg, twerking. It was a mess. I hope nobody has videos of it because I deleted all the photos and videos that I had from that night because I was incredibly embarrassed. So fast forward, we go back to the hotel, everybody's hanging out, and we're having a good time. And then I cop an attitude. All of a sudden, I got attitude with my husband. Mad, like mad at him. For what? Because I am not good when I start drinking. So We go to bed, and he's not playing into it. He's like, "Mm-mm, we've been down this road. I'm not letting you do this. You're going to bed. I'm going to bed." We actually had two separate beds, because it was like a split king or queen. So he goes to his bed, I go to my bed, and I wake up in the morning, and I just remember having this like sick feeling in my stomach because potentially if my husband wasn't mature and understood what was going on and was about the BS, we could have had a terrible, terrible night because there's been two other wedding situations where I have gotten incredibly hammered and I ruined our night. Me, not him. Me. At the time, it was him. Oh, this is your fault. You're the problem. Why do you got to be like this? Why do you do stuff like that makes me mad? You do this on purpose. We go to bed. I wake up. I feel sick. And there's just tension between us. Like I can just tell that he's not pleased. He's not pleased with me at all. We go to fish or Chick-fil-A and I have some nuggets and I eat and I just think to myself, I'm like, I'm done drinking. How many of you have had that moment where you're like, oh God, I feel so terrible. I'm never drinking again? Well, that's what I thought. And then I was like, okay. And then tomorrow, like the next day happened, I was like, and I told Josh, I've verbally said, Josh, I'm done drinking. I'm not going to drink for like 30 days. And he's like, okay, well, cool, great. Didn't really say much. Sounds good. And then at some point, I talked about it on here, and I kind of just said that I decided I didn't want to drink anymore. I just peppered it out there a little bit. But every day, I'm like, "Am I really done drinking? Like, how can you be done drinking? Like everybody drinks. What do you mean? Like if you go to a party, you go to a birthday party. When you come home from work, like what are you gonna do? What are you gonna drink? What are you gonna sip on? All these things were racing through my mind, and I just said, not alcohol, not beer, none of it. But at a certain point, I like missed the taste of beer because I enjoy a good beer. So I got like the alcohol free beers as like a placebo effect. And I had like one, and I just remember like holding it in my hand because it was like the motion of hanging out in the garage or the motion of going out and having like a can in my hand. I had a couple of the non-alcoholic beers when we went out, and Joseph from Reproval was in town in Detroit, and we had gone out to the casino, and I remember I went and I we ordered like beverages or whatever, and then I ordered two non-alcoholic beers because that was like habit for me because I was still pretty early on into the not drinking, and so I ordered because I would always order two beers. And then I drank like a half of one while we were walking around. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, this is stupid. So I set them down and they were expensive. And I remember Josh being like, you're just going to waste those? I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm just going to set them down. And so I try the non-alcoholic beers, and I think I have some of them in the refrigerator that I had picked up, and they've just been like hanging out in there. And I got some from Canada as well. When I went to Canada to go visit Jessica over the summer, we went to like the liquor store because I have like stores where you actually get like your alcohol, and she helped me find some like non-alcoholic beers because she was having a party, and I was still having a hard time being like out in public and not drinking. And so yeah, she was like, "Okay, we'll find these." And she spent the time with me. We went through. They were terrible. They were not good. I ended up throwing them all away because I didn't like the way that they tasted. But it was a process of trying to figure out like how to function. And so every single day, you know, I had to say like I'm not drinking today. First it was 30 days, then it was 60 days, and then sometimes it was like I'm not going to drink this hour. And I wouldn't say like I don't feel like I was an alcoholic. I honestly, I don't feel like that was the case. It was like a crutch, like a vice. Like, I don't know what it was, but I just knew that it wasn't serving me. So, okay, I'm back. I actually just had to go take a break. I got a little bit overwhelmed when I was telling that story. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to talk about this, but I was like, I'm just going to go get some water and just regroup because I do think that this is important to talk about. Not It's not because like, oh, let's celebrate me. I'm 1 year sober. I think this is an important topic to talk about and normalize because drinking alcohol is so normal. And at the end of the day, it's not good for our bodies. And I'm not here to judge anybody that still drinks. You do you, boo boo. But I just realized that it just was not good for me. And so I feel like sharing the story and talking about it, maybe somebody else, maybe somebody that's listening can resonate with it and be like, you know what? You're right. You're right. It's not serving me. I don't feel good when I do it. I drink because it at the time it's the thing to do. It's what I know. That's what everybody says like, "Oh, I had a stressful day. I'm going to drink a bottle of wine or I need a glass of wine." Instead of being like, "Oh, I need to go home and have, some fruit and some water and I'm going to go for a jog to like decompress." It's like, "Oh, give me a shot. Let's not do some squats." Because it's weird. It's weird to say stuff like that. So I do think that I'm gonna keep going. I'm not going to give up. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna just answer the questions off of ChatGPT that I put in some prompts and it gave me some stuff. So it'll give me some direction, some guidance, and hopefully I'm able to get the story across. So if you listen to the first section of this, that's off the cusp. That's just me reminiscing. That is straight to the point. Or not straight to the point. It is not. Because am I ever straight to the point? You don't come to this podcast for straight to the point information. I don't know why you guys come here actually, but thanks. I appreciate it. All right. So, first thing from ChatGPT. It says, reflect on the moments when you decided to embark on your sober journey. What inspired this challenge and what was your initial goal? Great question, ChatGPT. We talked about it earlier. I'm an a-hole when I drink. It makes me depressed. I get an icky, gross feeling. And it used to be a lot of fun, and it was no longer fun. And I just knew that alcohol was allowing me to eat a lot of nasty food, say nasty things, have a bad attitude, and then have a hangover. I just opened my eyes and realized that you're, I don't know if your husband's gonna stay with you in 5 years because you're not cool. You're not fun. And Josh actually started saying this to me. He goes, "You're cooler online," and it was a joke, and we would like laugh about it and stuff. And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, you're you're right." So he was saying it as like as a joking manner in a joking tone, but it was truthful, and I recognized it. I said, "Oh, I want to be cool in person too. I want my husband to be like, yeah, my wife is the best." And for a hot minute there, I was not simply the best. All right. So how did your mindset towards alcohol and its role in your life shift over time, especially in relations to business and leadership? I wouldn't say that drinking never impacted me like business wise, because it's not like I was boozing it up during the day. It was just like a weekend or nighttime thing. But I think it carries over too, because if you get hung over on Friday and you're in your 30s, you're hung over until I swear next Thursday. Takes like a whole week to recover. And then just like the lack of confidence and you feel like you're just out of control. And so it just kind of it does all mess with your mind, because it's like you got drunk, maybe you got into a fight or you got into an argument and then you ate like crap, and so then your confidence, at least for me, like my confidence wasn't the best. And as being a leader, like we have to be confident. We're making moves, we're grooving, we're leading people. And so for me, when I am not feeling my best, it's hard to lead. And so I wasn't setting myself up for success by having a drink and going out with social events and drinking with people socially. Like I can't wrap my head around that. Like when I see people at the bar that just go out, they're like, "Oh, we're going to go for a cocktail after and we're going to connect with people." Like, what if you say something stupid? Like, why? I would have probably embarrassed myself. I don't know. So I just never felt comfortable going out with like colleagues and drinking, because I'm a woo, I'm a woo girl. I get wild and it's not fun. I mean, it is, I guess it is fun, but it's not good for me. ChatGPT cracks me up. Mindset makeover from clarity to confidence. Discuss how your sobriety has influenced your mindset as a business owner. How has it improved your decision making skills and problem solving skills? Man, I'll tell you what, now that I don't, there's nothing, like, right? There's nothing clouding my brain. It's just me and my emotions, which last year that was awful. Being with me and my emotions for an entire year and trying to figure out how to handle the ups and the downs and regulate the emotions, respond, not react. All of it was very, very exhausting. Last year was a very tiring year. But now, when situations happen, I'm clear, I'm confident. I'm like, all right, let's just work through this because I've developed coping skills to be able to handle those emotions because because I hadn't been covering them up. I've been actually dealing with it. And I do feel that that has helped me with my tolerance with dealing with higher stress situations. And I had always heard like your level of success is going to be determined on how well you handle stress, and I believe it. Share specific instances where a clear mind helped you overcome challenges and seize the opportunity in your business. Okay, when the accident happened with Crystal, that was on it was on a weekend, and when the accident happened, when she called me and told me that she was involved in a hit and run, I remained very calm. I was very, very calm. Okay, we went and picked her up, talked to her, talked to the police, handled it. What is it? Like comforted her, all of it, sent her on her way. And my husband was so impressed with how calm I remained. He was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah. I mean, Crystal's okay. The car is not. I have proper insurance. Monday morning after the weekend's over, the insurance company, they're closed for, well, the office is closed for the weekend. So I was like, I'll just reach out. I'll send an email out to my main guy, let him know what happened, and then he can direct me on who I need to get in touch with and what needs to happen." I do feel like if I would have won, because it was the weekend, if I would have had a little sippy sip in me, my emotions wouldn't have been able to be regulated. They probably would have been all over the place. And then if I would have drank afterwards, then I would have the anxiety would have kicked in and the what ifs and then the anger because I get angry when alcohol gets in me. And it just wouldn't have been a good situation for everybody. So I had a clear head, a clear mind, and it was fine. Did it suck? Yes. I'm still dealing with it. We have another court case next month. It's super irritating. And so I really feel that not drinking really helped me be able to handle that because I was able to handle my emotions. Explore the habits and routines you've developed during your sober journey and that have positively impact me. So, routines that I have now, it's so boring, you guys, when people are like, "What's it like in your life? Like, what do you do?" I wake up in the morning, I stretch, I go to the bathroom, I brush my teeth, I drink a cup of water, I start getting ready for the day. I go downstairs. Usually, my husband has coffee being made. But let me tell you guys this: Joshua will not make coffee if he doesn't have creamer. He don't care about me. He don't care about my energy level. He don't care about none of it. I'm like, "Why didn't you make coffee?" This was yesterday because I drank like old coffee. And he was like, "I don't have any creamer." I was like, "So it's just, screw me?" What? And we started laughing. So this morning he actually did make some coffee for me, which is very nice. Which got me thinking. I'm like, what's like something that I do just for him that's like a just for him thing? I don't know if I do that. So I need to think of something that I'm going to start doing just for him, like out of the kindness of my heart, just to make sure that he feels like loved. Maybe always make sure he's got like a new fresh towel ready to rock and roll because he'll hop in the shower and won't have a towel. Oh yeah, that's funny. So sidebar really quick. So my phone goes on do not disturb at like 9:10. As long as the kids are home, phone's on do not disturb. I don't care what's going on. We could talk about it in the morning. So anyways, Josh goes to take a shower and he called me from the shower apparently. I don't know. I didn't hear him. He called and he comes in the bedroom and I got my phone in my hand and he was like, "You jerk. I called you." And I was like, "Oh, my phone's on do not disturb. Like, sorry, I didn't know." I'm like, "Well, what'd you want?" He was like, "I needed a towel." I'm like, "Well, I needed coffee this morning, so." Mm. So we both just started laughing, and he went and got the towel that was hanging up. But maybe I should start doing that. What do you guys do for your partner, or for your spouse, or vice versa? Like, what do they do for you that's like one little thing that puts a smile on your face? Like they just do it to do it. Like it doesn't benefit them. It's just something to make you smile. And if you don't do anything like that, now that you're thinking about it, or you're like, maybe I should. Maybe I should do that little thing. Because I'm telling you, those little things in marriage and relationships really, really do help. Like when I have chapped lips and I'm like, oh, my lips don't feel very good. I need a chapstick and I don't have a chapstick. If my husband were to whip a chapstick out of his pocket and be like, "Here, I got a chapstick for you, just in case." Sir, let's have an afternoon delight. Anyways, you can edit that out, Mr. Producer, if you would like. All right, back to the regular scheduled program. All right, discuss the importance of self care and mental well being in sustaining your energy and focus as an entrepreneur. It is incredibly important to protect yourself because you're the leader of the company. You have to protect your energy, you have to protect your thoughts, because if not, business can consume you and will consume you, because it can just literally suck you up until you're so dry and there's nothing to spit out. So if you're not creating boundaries, you're not creating the routines, you're not setting yourself up for success, this can be very, very difficult. And that's why you do see a lot of entrepreneurs. Statistically, a lot of them do end up on coping things such as alcohol or other sorts of drugs, and then their marriages fall apart. You see all of these very successful men that achieve success, and their first marriage falls apart. I don't know why. I'm not in the marriage, but I can picture why. I can see why it would happen. And then, as men, they got all this money, so then they go get like a young hot 20-year-old and move on with their life, and they're fine. But it still sucks because that original family unit is now broken. And for me, I'm not interested in that. I want to stay married to my husband forever. I want to have people in my life that are positive, and I want to be a positive influence in other people's lives, and I want to have a business that is respectable and my employees are respected and they're happy and they're not like this. The owner is a mess. I've heard countless stories of employees that talk poorly about their leader. They're like, I don't even know how they run this business. Like, they don't even do anything. They're dumb. That sucks. That's embarrassing. I don't I don't want that to be me. So I really thought that it was really important to make sure that I'm staying sharp and staying focused and being self-aware, cuz at any given time things can slip. At any given time, we can fall off our game, but being self aware and readjusting and be like, okay, this isn't running optimally. Let's make a couple tweaks. I'm continuously like readjusting, reshifting. I'm like, okay. Because if you give yourself a little slack, things can get a little crazy. And I did want to talk about like social events, going out. I don't have a bunch of tips and tricks. I don't know what works for everybody, but all I can say was is what works for me. When I went out to concerts, because I remember the first time we were going out to a concert, because Josh loves concerts, and I was nervous. I was like, I don't want to go, because I actually became like a hermit. I just decided that I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to be around anybody. I don't want to hang out. I don't want to do anything because there's no temptation. In my podcast studio bedroom office area, there's no temptation. It's just me and my water. And I only have two cups in here because I cleaned my room yesterday, but usually there's like 4 or 5 water bottles, several cups. It's a disaster. And it's cool. There was no like, oh, just one. Just take one shot. It's not gonna hurt you. Just one. There was none of that. So when I went out to this concert, I felt very uncomfortable. It was a I love the 90s concert, and me and my friend were going to dress up in plaid skirts. We were going to be like Cher and Dee from Clueless. We got the skirts. The one I bought was so long, it was like down to my knees. I looked like a Catholic schoolgirl. And then I decided to wear a turtleneck with it because I felt so uncomfortable in my body going out of the house. I just wanted to be covered up. I was like, I'll show a little leg and that's it. So I show up to the concert and my friend's just kind of looking at me, and she's like, "You're like, what's up with the turtleneck?" But she said it in like a kind way. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I just felt like really uncomfortable and I just needed to be covered up as much as possible because this is kind of difficult for me with the not drinking. And she was super respectable, and so was Josh, and so was my friend's husband. They had their beverages. I got a one of those liquid death waters, and I just held it in my hand, and it took me a little bit to kind of relax. I was like, just feel the music. Just let the music guide you. Have fun with this. It's okay. You're okay. Just calm your anxiety. And I wouldn't say that I got super loose. I can't say that I was, the most fun, But it was baby steps. It really was baby steps. And then we went to another concert, and like this was in July. I was not feeling it. But Josh was having a great time and I was just bobbing my head. I was like, okay, I think I'm the only sober person at this concert. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. I was like, I'm the only sober person in here. This sucks. This sucks. But I'm glad I got through it because now I can go out to events and it's not a big deal. And I just drank my water and it was uncomfortable. So I just had to go through those uncomfortable moments to be able to come out on the other side. And every day, I feel like every time somebody offers me a drink or does that, I just no, thank you. I don't need to go into the whole spiel like, no, I'm sober. I did that for a while, and then I had the conversation, and I think Joseph, he told me, he's like, you just say no, thank you. I have a drink, which is water or lemonade or whatever. So just coming up with responses because it's weird. People want to know why aren't you drinking because you're the oddball out, and so just having those conversations and being like the weird one, it takes some time, but it's okay. It's okay. Oh, yeah, that's funny. So ChatGPT did say share tips and strategies for staying sober in social or professional settings where alcohol is prevalent. I guess if you need some tactical tips, just have your bottle of water, have your lemonade, your Diet Coke, whatever your beverage is. If people are pressuring you to drink, you just say, no, thank you. I don't drink. I'm good. And if you have people that keep on pressuring you, you might have to create a boundary. You might have to pull them aside and say, "Listen, I don't want to drink. Please do not offer this to me ever again. Do not." And if they can't respect those boundaries, then you might have to eliminate them from your presence because if they're going to try to jeopardize what you're trying to do, they're not the type of people to be around. So that's very blunt. That's just how it is. Like I won't do it. I'm not going to hang out with anybody that's going to try to peer pressure me to drink. I will be very aggressive with them because that's how protective I feel over the life and how I feel now. I feel so incredibly good. I feel strong. I feel confident. I feel clear that I am not going to let anybody else mess that up. And that's truly how I feel like today on this day. But if you don't want to be aggressive like that, just yep, I got my drink. No, I'm good. Thank you. And I do understand, you know, the cool kids, right? The cool kids are drinking, they're mingling, they're having fun. Just don't fall into the peer pressure. You stay clear-headed, you stay sober, and then you just watch. You watch the things that are being said. You watch how people act. And then it kind of like it opens your eyes. It's like, mhm. Mhm. And then the ripple effect, right? Because with me not drinking, having conversations with my husband in turn, right, means that he's drinking. He's drinking less. He still drinks like cuz he don't have a problem with it. Like he's good. He's happy go lucky, but he's been drinking a lot less. And when we go out to dinner, we go out for lunch, it's not ordering a drink every single time, maybe every third time or every fourth time, which means our bills are way way less because alcohol is expensive. And then when I'm hanging out with people, I order a water. And I learned this from Trisha Dork, where she talked about like setting the tone when you go out with people and with eating healthy, for instance. When she's out with a group of people and she orders first, she orders a water and then she orders a salad and then maybe like a protein. A lot of times the people around her will see that and they're like, well, Trisha's got it going on. She's fit, she looks good, she's successful, so why don't we, yeah, let's get a salad, let's get a water. And she kind of sets the tone. And so sometimes, I can't say that all the time, but there is times where I do set the tone in certain situations. Or if I order my chicken, my eggs, and my beets, because I eat weird stuff, like people notice, they'll definitely be like, oh, I should eat like that. And so eventually, um, you know, I will rub off on people and then hopefully maybe they'll just order a water. And instead of ordering the country scrambler biscuit smothered in gravy that's probably 3,000 calories, they'll opt in for a chicken breast and some scrambled eggs that's probably under 500 calories. So it's just little things like that. And yeah, I feel weird ordering water. Yeah, I feel weird ordering the food that I order and the other things that I do. But it's okay. It's okay to be a little weird and be a little different if it's positively impacting your life. I'm super excited. I didn't really want to make a big deal of it. It's not a big deal to me, but it is a big deal. Josh was like, no, this is a big deal. I'm happy that I was able to do it. I'm happy to be able to share this with you. I do think that it was for the benefit. Me and my husband's relationship, I feel, is way more stronger. I'm way more connected to him. I just love him so much more, which is great. So when I'm not having a good day, he's not having a good day because I can be not very fun. That's not cool. I don't like that. But yeah, if you're interested in living a sober life or just giving it a shot, try it. Give it a shot. See if it benefits you. I'm not here to judge anybody that's still drinking or any of that. Even though, like in the beginning, I was judgy because I had my own stuff that I was working through. It had nothing to do with the people. They're living their life. I'm like, Erica, don't be judging. You got your own crap that you gotta work on. You need to focus on. So mind your business. Mind your little business, and that's what I did. I minded my business, kept my head down. I just kept on chucking. I can't believe it's been a year. A year flies by so fast, you guys. And so, if you really want to focus on something, if you really want to make an improvement, you got to give it time because it takes time to change those habits, especially those habits that you've had for 10, 20, 30 years. Gosh, it takes some time, that's for sure. So, I don't know. I hope this gave you some perspective and some insight. Hopefully it didn't make you want to go have a drink. But just know that, you're not alone. We all have struggles, we all have issues. We're all just trying to get this stuff figured out. That's why I do feel drawn to share this stuff because sometimes we don't have people in our lives that we can lean into. And so if I can be that person to you online, here I am. Lean me. I don't know the rest of the song. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. And until next time, bye.